Okay, my target audience here now is the 8th grade. And in 8th grade, your students should have done and should know mitosis, which is ordinary cell division, how the cells divide to produce daughter cells with the same number and kind of chromosomes. In the 8th grade now, you're introducing students to meiosis, which is reduction division. And what we mean by this is that the chromosomes are reduced. Actually, they are half. So that is, if you think of a cell that has a chromosome number of let's say 1, and this to be. By the end of meiosis, they will have half the number of chromosomes. Some cells will have A, and some cells will have B. So you have reduced the number and kind of chromosomes by half. How is this process done? Well, meiosis, as you know, because they may have teaching this, mitosis, as you know, occurs only in the reproductive cells. The reproductive. That means in the male, that's the sperm cells. In males, and in females, it's the egg cell, or commonly found in the ovaries. Egg cells in females. Okay? So meiosis only occurs in these cells. And basically what it is, you want to get it is designed because as you know, in reproduction, the male and female gametes come together and you wind up with a full complement of the chromosomes that you have. So let us take a look and see how this process is done. Okay? So again, let us consider our fictitious cell has A and B. Okay? So you have a cell with the full complement of chromosomes. And here I'm only drawing the nucleus, guys, because this has a cell membrane, but we want to go through. You understand mitosis. At the end, so you go through mitosis and you have cells with A and B. Okay? And you have cells, so you have two daughter cells now with A and B. This go again. You'll have a cell with A and B. Okay? So let's say this is the male. This is the female. At the end of what we call the first mitotic division, first meiosis, this is what you get. Okay? But what's going to happen in meiosis, each one of these cells are going to undergo what we call a reduction division, where this cell will form an A and it will form a B, just as you did in mitosis. A and B. And these are called gametes. They call themselves, I don't like it, but that's the conventional term, they call gametes. The same thing is going to happen here. This will do the same thing, undergo reduction division, A and B. Okay, and you could use any variations of this if you will, but basically that's what's happening. This are called gametes. And you'll see why in a minute. Male and female gametes. Okay? Now, lots of interesting things could happen here, and we can talk about it, where you have crossing over and all that type of things, and I'll explain that in a little while and give you the reasons for meiosis. But anyway, so notice now you have two cells, but half the number of chromosomes that you started with. So see your cell. This is what these cells now could then combine. These are gametes, and each one of these cells. So you can get, for example, these are the gametes. You have these A, B, and then you have BA. Individual gametes. You could form a new organism by any combination of this. A B could form with an A to give you AB, and you could get an AB here, but because these are independent, a B could interact with a B and you get BB, or an A could interact with an A and you get an AA. So you have 1, 2, 3, 4. You have 4 different types of individuals could be formed from mitosis. This is what we call, this is the purpose of reduction division, to introduce variety into the population. You have AB, but now you have these combinations. And these combinations, so you have 4 gametes. But remember now, why I said I don't like the word cells, because these cannot function. Because these are the male and female joined together to give you a functional organism. And this is the purpose, this is the reason for sexual reproduction. And what you notice is you could wind up with AB just as we have here and we have here. But we could also have AA and BB. What that means is you have introduced variation into the population. You know, and you could use any symbols for this. You could refer to this as tall people, short people, brown people, Asian, you know, any different types of traits that you want to look at. Tall, short, long, tall. Purpose of sexual reproduction. Introduce variation in the population. And this, if you notice here, you have the first mitotic, you have your reduction division, and this now becomes the second mitosis where you're forming back the full complement of chromosomes here. So students, if coming to you in the 8th grade, they know ordinary cell division. Once they go through this simple process of reduction division, now they can go through that. And again, in the activity that you have, you could simulate these things and look at the formation of gametes in the cells. And again, we have the activities here, and again, the instructions here, and if you follow the theme in that. So the idea is to take this and see if you could simulate it with your kids and show in a hands-on activity how this is done, and hopefully you'll bring back a lot of questions and see if this is something that you can use in your classroom to sort of enhance what you have already taught your students. Again, it could be used as an assessment piece. Okay? The good thing about this is in the 8th grade, your students know basic cell division, and you could even have them, you could even use the activity to ensure or kind of have them review their mitosis. And then you can take them on to the next step of the reduction division and show them how this is done. And hopefully we'll have a lot of questions on that. Some of you may like it, some of you may not, but then the basis of this activity, the basis of this workshop is to share ideas with teachers. You guys may come up with something that you can use. Thank you very much.